Here is the big multiplayer reveal for Black Ops Cold War. Man, am I excited for this game. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vandahar!
Welcome to the multiplayer reveal of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. On behalf of the teams at Treyarch and Raven and all our development partners across the world, thank you for joining us. Today, we do a little recon across all Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. The world, the missions, the weapons, the characters, and the systems. And you know, we'll make some fun announcements along the way. From here on out,
tell me if it's too loud.
We'll talk directly to you, the best fans in gaming. Joining me throughout the show is a big cast of characters from across the studio, along with some of your favorite Call of Duty content creators and streamers.
Ooh, Scumpy's gonna be in this. Dismo.
We are never quite satisfied with the status quo. We are always looking for a way to do it better. But some things shouldn't change, and for every multiplayer game we make, one thing hasn't: how we start things off. This is the worldwide debut of the Black Ops Cold War multiplayer trailer.
All right, Vondi, good speech. Oh, I can't wait. Yes. On PlayStation 5.
Threat neutralized.
You're here because you're the best special forces NATO has to offer.
We're all that keeps the world from turning to cinders, comrades.
We work off the books
Operate in the shadows.
to keep the wolves at bay.
Today, we reshape the world.
What the fuck are we doing in Miami?
Let's go.
Let them come.
Go, go, go!
What? Zip lines?
Time to punch that top guard. Secure the sub.
Striker's back. M16's back. Underwater! There's no way this is multiplayer. This has got to be like the Warzone, or not Warzone. What am I thinking of?
Ah, shit.
Jesus.
Soviet convoy disabled.
Uzbekistan. Campaign? No. Gotta be ground war. That's what it's called. RCXD's back.
Keep pushing. Yo, over here.
Pre-order a digital copy and get early access to the open beta and instant access to the Woods Operator Pack in Modern Warfare and Warzone.
You just saw it. This is an unapologetically Cold War game set in the
Let's
80s.
go.
But it's still a Black Ops game. And for over a decade, we built our multiplayer experiences atop a core set of guiding principles. They form our pillars: deniable operations that deploy around the world, signature combat tailored to how you play, connected experiences that deliver free, robust, ongoing content, and integrate deeply into the next evolution of Warzone. Today, we're going to explore each of these facets of multiplayer. We're going to show you how this globe-trotting, cinematically connected experience is our most immersive yet. And then, we're going to show it to you in a way we never could before, with a little help from some friends. First up, the bedrock of Black Ops, deniable operations. These are the places in multiplayer you never saw, and the things you never did. The missions that stay off the books, and the targets and sources who stay off the record. The Cold War we set out to build is realistic. It's plausible. Most importantly, it's inspired by a gritty historical tone that we've woven into every element of our game's world and story and gameplay. Chaotic and always confidential, the deniable ops lie at the heart of multiplayer, raising the bar while creating a clear, unique narrative that influences every bit of our world building. For Black Ops Cold War, that world building drove each multiplayer level in two ways: with the signature level design you've come to expect, and by pushing the visual bar and immersing players into a narrative of unfolding events. The fight to recover a downed satellite in the Central African desert, battles that unfold on the neon-soaked streets of Miami's famed South Beach. Deniable Ops are the Black Ops stories inspired by history, but forgotten by the history books.
In Satellite, a top-secret American recon satellite has lost
Angola
and crashed in the deserts of Angola. With hired DGI forces closing in,
now it's a race to secure the crash site.
What I love about Satellite is the fact that it's just this amazing natural space.
Because larger maps have more components, we can apply more details into maps like Satellite, which make them feel even more natural. The satellite at the center is like a king of the hill. Anyone who wants it has to run toward you because it's raised higher than the rest of the map. East and west collide on the open seas in a top-secret mission.
Inspired by a real-life event, Project Azorian, CIA, JSOC, and Soviet forces converged to recover a sunken prototype nuclear Soviet submarine from the ocean floor.
The calm waters of Armada explode into massive naval conflict as players battle for control of large naval vessels.
With no lanes walling you in, players can engage on ships' decks, in the water, and on vehicles like wake runners and gunboats. Armada is chaos in the best way.
This really cool map that gives this amazing sense of exploration. There are so many little individual areas to find and new ways to surround or flank your enemies and get the upper hand.
So is this like all just regular multiplayer?
Hidden safe house has been discovered right in the heart of the USSR.
This like
in the shadow of
Ground War
Moscow's
too.
opulent train station. With Spetsnaz dispatched, the area has gone hot.
Sites look pretty clean.
So the Moscow map is set in the dead heart of a big city. So you're wandering through these streets with a bunch of cars, and there's tall buildings on either side.
Ooh, the sites look
There's
good.
this sense that you've been dropped into a point in history.
1984. This location is
Miami!
heavily influenced by Miami's famous, or perhaps infamous, Ocean Drive. This is a night map, but one unlike players have seen before.
Oh yeah.
You can sneak through dark, shadowy alleys.
No.
Go out onto the beach, out into the ocean.
You can
Tracker's
dive in
back.
the water and wade along the coast to get the drop on the other side.
Tracker's
Or
in.
you can just go right down the street and bask in the neon light.
I hope that's a kill streak and not
The first
specialist.
time I played through Miami, I could hear this 80s nightclub music playing through the walls of one of the buildings. The little details make it lifelike, and it becomes this joy to experience.
In
We're off to
Crossroads,
Uzbekistan.
NATO has learned a large Soviet missile convoy is on its way to the border.
Special forces dispatch alongside the MI6 to ambush the convoy and secure the weapons before all hell breaks loose.
Soviet convoy disabled.
It's one of our most cinematic maps with a boots-on-the-ground feel that feels pulled from the campaign.
Your team will want to hold down and protect its own outpost to guarantee access to one of these tanks.
These definitely have to be different game
Combat
modes.
doesn't take a backseat in Crossroads. Crossroads, as natural terrain and foliage masks movements and provides tactical advantages.
There's a bunch of snowmobiles when you first spawn, and it's a mad dash to grab one. And now, running people over with the snowmobile is my favorite thing to do.
Each environment changes the dynamic of how you play and caters to unique loadouts. Crossroads is a bigger map, and that allows you to play the way you want to play.
Yes.
We've talked a little bit about
modes.
where you'll play, but let's talk about what you'll play when you get there. In Black Ops Cold War,
Matt!
classic game modes are returning and they're better than ever. From the tried and true Team Deathmatch, Domination, and Search and Destroy, to the return of the competitive game mode Control, we've taken a fresh eye to all of your favorites. We're encouraging more meaningful gameplay with larger capture zones and Domination. We're updating spawn systems in Hardpoint. And now we show you where the next Hardpoint will spawn so you can regroup, rotate, and set up for the next fight. Across all of our classic modes, we're working hard to make this the most rewarding and competitive multiplayer experience yet. And while your go-to modes are coming back better than ever, let's talk about the innovative new modes you'll be going to next. With that, let me introduce you to my teammate Marquise Gladney, who's here to tell you about the brand new multiplayer experience we call VIP Escort.
VIP Escort began with a question. How can we create a game mode inspired by the kind of real-life, totally true, but completely redacted Black Ops that first inspired this franchise? The result is Extraction in its purest form, a new 6-on-6 objective-based game mode we call VIP Escort. In Black Ops, we normally task you with fighting, but VIP Escort turns that on its head with a new mechanic. If you're selected as the VIP, your #1 job, it's to live. In this team-based op, your team will try to escort you off the map or eliminate the other team trying to stop you. As VIP, you'll skip Create a Class, you're too important after all. Instead, you'll deploy with a kitted out pistol, a smoke grenade, a spy plane for team intel, and a whole lot of hope that your team knows what the hell it's doing. The mission, stay alive and escape the map. To do so, you'll need to reach one of 2 possible exfil sites, which rotate over the course of the match to keep teams on their toes. There are stakes here. If you die, that ends the round. But team up and you can get your squad back on their feet quickly via last stand and revive. Each team's choices and tactics create layers of strategy and counterplay, injecting the best of Black Ops themes directly into this competition. Will your team pull Cold War mind games and misdirection by splitting up the squad to draw fire and create distractions for the VIP? Or is a full-on assault more their style? Will they travel ahead and scout, run protection detail, or take a bullet for you Secret Service style? My personal keys to victory? I stick close and escort the VIP and defend them at all costs. If the VIP doesn't make it out alive, it won't matter if you do. This new deniable operation only scratches the surface of what it means to play Cold War multiplayer.
I'm excited. Oh, the big juice right here.
Let's talk about 2 of the most significant and impactful features of multiplayer.
Don't be pick 10.
Create a class and score streaks. Our goal with Create a Class in Cold War is to empower you without making trade-offs. This year, better starts with simpler. Create a Class will be a slot-based system, no longer governed by allocations or the pick 10 system. You'll always boast a full class of a primary, secondary, lethal, tactical, field upgrade, and a set of perks. Field upgrades are items placed in the world to give your team an advantage.
Okay.
You can earn them solely based on time, not score. And they are the only type of game content that works on a cooldown that lasts after death. Now, wild cards are back. In this system, in every class, you can pick 1 of 4 wild cards that let you do things like load your primary weapon with up to 8 attachments, carry up to 6 perks, double the number of lethals and tacticals you have, or carry 3 primary perks from any mix of categories. Of course, a key component of Create a Class is the gunsmith.
Please don't do the
Black Ops
same
Cold War,
thing.
there are more optics and attachments to unlock and configure than ever before. Every primary weapon can be customized with 54 attachments across 8 different nodes or attachment points, with at least 6 options per attach point. By default, you can equip 5 attachments, or 8 with the Gunfighter wildcard. For the first time, Gunsmith will show you what equipping an attachment does as a positive or negative percentage. You can now build backwards, speccing out the perfect gun for whatever results you want to see in the field. This takes the guesswork out of the system and helps us on our never-ending quest.
All right.
There's one more thing I need to talk about. First up, we've updated score streaks so that earned score is kept through death. This change gives all players a chance to engage with score streaks, one of the most visceral and fun experiences across multiplayer's signature combat. If you do go on a streak and string together multiple kills before your own death, streak score bonuses help you earn into those higher-powered score streak tiers. To prevent score streak spam, each score streak will go on a cooldown after it's used to pace out frequency. So, what score streaks are we talking about? Well, your favorites are back, but we've also got a few surprises. Score streaks in Cold War can be used in all the classic ways: to aid in taking an objective, to save your team, to break up the pace of the game with a fun new experience. We've also tailored strategy into the system, as score streaks can often be neutralized with a counter score streak.
Here's 4 specific ways movement has improved through new cutting-edge techniques in animation and programmatic movement. The first is sprint takeoff. This is the feature that gives your operator a running start. You start with a little sprint, and then it slows down to normal speed. This lets you feel the momentum of like where you're going and where you're going to end up. We wanted to preserve the fluidity and fun of an operator's ability to slide. In Black Ops Cold War, when you slide, you start and end in a crouch position in a believable way. This allows 2-player movement states to function better as one, all while improving gameplay and enhancing pace. Footstep control also plays a big part of the new
Backers back, yep.
Go faster and you'll make more noise. Of course, we still have Ninja as a perk, but Ninja is no longer the only way to keep quiet. Whether or not you're crouched, how loud you get is now directly tied to how fast you're moving. Lastly, we've incorporated a classic jump with a much more natural height, which will very briefly slow you down on landing. Our goal in all of these movement mechanics is to ensure operators' actions are not just authentic, but intuitive. When you press a button or a key, you should always feel in control of your operator. And this system has been built to translate your decisions into dynamic movement more seamlessly than ever. The era of the game might be the 80s, but the characters you play will move and shoot like the world's most highly skilled operators.
That's why I'm excited to confirm that Black Ops Cold War will not only support cross-platform play and progression, but will also deliver cross-generation play to the game. That's because Black Ops Cold War is, at its heart, a connected experience. And playing together on whatever platforms you prefer only betters that experience. Cross-play and cross-progression across current and next-generation systems across all modes. That won't be easy, but it's worth it to allow fans who have never had a chance to play together to squad up and deploy, no barriers between them. With the Battle Pass system delivering a steady stream of post-launch content, Black Ops Cold War will be the very first cross-platform, cross-generation Call of Duty experience.
That is a major win right there.